Whether you're starting a new website, or you're thinking of moving your existing website, or you just got an email from an auction site that perfect domain is finally available for only $10,000, you might be wondering whether buying that fancy new domain is worth the investment and how it will impact your SEO. After all, your domain means a lot. It's the address for your business, and you want it to be something recognizable, memorable, easy to type, something that if you shared at a networking event, a phone call, a podcast interview, people would be able to remember it and track it down later. And aside from that direct traffic, you also want your website to show up in search results. So how can you set yourself up for success with your domain? In this video, I'll be talking all about how to choose the right domain for your business and how to make sure that it works for your SEO. Hi, I'm Meg Casebolt, the founder of Love at First Search, where we help online entrepreneurs to show up in search results, then turn those new readers into leads, subscribers, and sales. In this video, I'll be talking about how to choose your domain and how much it actually matters to your SEO. Now, there are a few things that Google cares about regarding your domain. Specifically, how long has it existed, and how many other websites are linking to it? These are two of the factors in your domain authority, which is basically like Google's way of gauging your reputation. If you have great content, relevant links from other thought leaders in your industry, and you've owned your domain for a while, that matters way more to Google than the words that are actually in your domain. After all, anybody can buy a great domain, but building a reputation takes time and effort. That being said, there are a few things to consider when it comes to choosing what your domain should be. The first thing to consider is what your domain should end in. Should you choose a .com, a .co, a .net? Those letters that come after your domain, whether that's .com, .co, .gov, .edu, .net, those are either called your domain extension, or sometimes they're called your top level domain, or TLD. For most of us, the TLD of your website only matters a little bit. Google gives more weight and authority to certain TLDs like .gov, .edu, .mil. They have more authority out of the box than open TLDs, which are the kind that everyone can buy, like .coms and .cos and .net. But on the whole, that decision between the open TLDs like the .com versus .co, that's not going to make or break anything about your SEO. There's some little bit of evidence that a .com may outrank a .co or .io or .so, but the real reason you may want to lean into that more traditional .com domain is user experience. How many times have you heard somebody explain that their site is .net, but your fingers still type .com? Even though Google sees them mostly as the same, your users might have a better experience trying to remember .com because it's just what we've been trained to use. Now, what about a country-specific TLD if I want to be found in local search? If you're running a local business or you only want to be found by people in your country and you have no plans to extend outside of that space on this domain, then by all means, grab the geographic TLD like .co.uk for the UK Kingdom, or .ca for Canada, or .in for India. And if you have more than one brand, you can also mix and match TLDs to target the right audience. My friend Avery started a Toronto-based in-person marketing training company called Camp Tech, and so she grabbed the domain camptech.ca. But her personal brand for speaking engagements and book sales, those live at averyswartz.com, since that can reach a more international audience. Another question I get a lot is, should I include a keyword into my domain? It used to be that Google would give you some bonus points for having a keyword in your domain, but that's less important now than it used to be. In 2012, Google launched a special filter called exact match domain to prevent this. So if you're on the fence about using a simple option like yourname.com or something a bit more complex filled with keywords like interior-design-dallas.com, in the long run, the actual words in your domain matter less to your domain authority than your backlinks, your content, and your online history. So with that in mind, can you just buy extra domains to help you with your SEO and then just buy the domains up and point them to your site? You can if it makes your life easier, but pointing domains to your website won't help your SEO at all. As far as Google is concerned, every website has one domain, no more. Any additional domains or subdomains basically count as brand new websites. So if you have one website for your business and one website for your podcast, then those two domains live independently of each other and don't necessarily help each other to grow. And if you're talking about the same thing on your podcast show notes that you are on your website, then you're essentially competing against yourself to show up in those Google search results. So if you do have those great domains that are coming available, can you have multiple URLs? Yes, you can use your multiple URLs for what are called vanity domains. Just like Tobias Funke in Arrested Development having a new start as his vanity license plate and everyone calling him Anus Tart. You can basically make a vanity domain that will redirect to a specific page on your website. So if you have a domain that you truly love and it's easy to share and easy to spell and easy to remember, you can use it as a vanity domain. You can buy whatever domains you like and then set them up as 301 redirects to any page you want on your primary website. So when I'm promoting my SEO membership, Attract and Activate, I can tell people on a webinar, go visit attractandactivate.com, and that will automatically forward them to loveatfirstsearch.com/attract-activate. And that way Google still knows that Attract and Activate belongs to me, but it's also much easier for people to remember and to type in than it is to remember that full link with all the slashes and dashes. And a quick note for all my fellow domain hoarders out there. If you're like me and you get a great idea in the middle of the night and you go buy the domain and you're not quite sure what you want to do with it yet, just want to tell you that's okay. One of the things that factors into your domain authority is how long you've owned the domain. So I like to think of my extra domains that I'm not using quite yet as aging, as if they're whiskey in a barrel. And I like to call the place where I store all my extra domains my domain wine cellar, because they're just getting better with time. So if you're like me and you've been hoarding domains and you're not quite sure what to do with them, or you only use them certain times of year, do not let go of your domains if you ever want to use them again in the future, because you will benefit from having held onto that domain for a longer period of time. If you thought this video was helpful, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more handy tips about using SEO to make your business run more smoothly and get more clients. I'll see you next week with more SEO tips.